Well, thanks, Charles. I appreciate you coming on. We've got NBA great Charles Oakley with us. And again, hope you had a good wedding this weekend, Charles, in Arizona.
It was fun.
It
Just
was,
supporting some family members.
man, that's cool. That's cool. So I want to get into it right away. So you had a great college career at HBCU at Virginia Union, Division II school. Player
Hmm.
of the, what, weren't you the player of the year? You're a
Yeah,
senior
in the state of Virginia,
in
yes.
the state of Virginia and led Division II in rebounding.
Yeah. I think around 17 a game my senior year.
That's not
Yes.
too bad. 17 boards a game. And then the big thing is you get drafted, right? So I know you're from Cleveland, Ohio. You're from the Ohio area, correct?
Yes.
So,
Johnny High School.
and you get drafted by the Cavs, and then your draft rights get sent to the Bulls. Now, or what happened there? Tell me your feelings on that night.
Um, I mean, my thing was I was just glad to go top 10. They were expecting me to be a fourth rounder. And rest in peace to Jerry Krause. He took a chance with me. And but no, they was telling me there's gonna be a trade, a pick trade. So they said Cleveland's gonna draft me, but I can get traded to Chicago for Keith Lee.
Keith Lee, that's right. That was the old Memphis State forward, wasn't it?
Yeah, Memphis State, big
Memphis
guy.
State, big guy with the Jerry. He had the Jerry curls going in college. I remember that.
Alabama.
Was it Alabama?
Probably heard. No, yeah, you're right. Memphis.
That's
Is
right.
Memphis? I think it was. Keith Lee went to. I don't know. It was Alabama and Memphis.
All
One of them.
right,
Yeah,
all
you
right.
may be right.
All right, we'll have to check that out. We'll get our crack statistician
Yeah,
on that one, right? But so you
yeah.
go to the Bulls, right? And this is, I think Michael Jordan had his first year, correct? You were there, Jordan's second year.
Right. Second year.
You get there, and obviously, I want to talk about your career because it was a long career and a great career. Your first recollection of Jordan, or at practice or being with him, the competitiveness of a guy like Jordan. What's your first recollection of him?
Well, I heard, being in Virginia, next state over is Carolina, and my college coach was real friend with Dean Smith, so we had talked about it. But once I got, to Chicago, as a rookie, you go through all, the press and the summer. They make you play summer league, work out, stay local, and get used to what's going on in town. But my friend's press was, hey, it's a man walking on air, but I just had to come and do my job.
Gotcha. And good job you did. I mean, I know you were a rebounder supreme, getting to the Bulls. Now, you played for Chicago for 4 years?
All together four, yeah.
Oh, four.
Three, then I came back one
And you
more.
came back one more
Yes.
year. So now, who was the coach at that time? I know it certainly wasn't Phil Jackson. Was it Doug Collins?
When I first got to Chicago, yes, with Doug Collins.
Okay, Collins.
And Doug traded me to New York. Doug is a funny guy, but they talk about him in the documentary. But he's the guy who played in Philly for many years,
Right.
All-Star. After his career, he got into coaching, and he probably coached over 25 years in the NBA.
Now, did those Bulls teams that you played with before you left for the Knicks, I think you played the Celtics in one playoff series, I believe.
Yes, that's when Michael had 60 something. After he came back from an injury, they tried to put him on minute restriction the first couple of games, but he said, "If I'm gonna play, I want to play." So after he said that, he got 60 something in the playoff, and but we lost. But it was the beginning of something real special with him in Chicago.
Absolutely. Hey, he might have had 60 plus, but you had 25 points and 15 boards against the C's.
Yeah, I was, for a guy from Cleveland going to HBCU, get to the league. I held my own pretty good. Only thing about it, I didn't get a lot of shots, but I didn't mind. I didn't mind playing a role, and I think in life that's what's wrong with the society, especially NBA right now. Guys don't want to accept their role, and that's why a lot of teams not winning like they want to win.
And I want to talk to you about that briefly. And I want, after we talk about your career with the Knicks, I really want to go over the NBA back then versus the NBA today, right? As players, style of the league, obviously much more physical, I believe, back in the 80s. You played it.
It was just it's a global market now, and that's what David Stern wanted. And the league, the money is not as global. The players is different. I think when I played back in my 18, 19 years in the league, you may have had 5% of the global market. Now it's probably 35%. So it's a big change.
I was going to say, look at all the players coming in from Europe, the
Yeah.
European flavor of the league now. A lot of Asian players now playing the league. Yao Ming kind of brought that to the NBA as well. Now you're at the Bulls, and then they make the trade to the Knicks, I believe, for Bill Cartwright, if I'm right.
Bill Cartwright and Kevin Duncan, I think. No, Bill Cart. It was two players for me. So I know Cartwright was one of the face in the trade from New York to Chicago.
They make the trade. Are you happy about the trade?
With nothing I can do.
Right.
It's a business that you sign your contract to work for them, and they have control. They don't like you, they can trade you or whatever. But that was part of the business. I didn't hold no grudge against the Bulls. Jerry picked me. He took a chance with me, and I went to New York. I feel like with somebody I always want you got a chance to make yourself in the league.
And you team up with head coach Pat Riley. Coaching styles, any similarities with Doug Collins? It was playing for Riley completely different than playing with Doug Collins.
Totally different, two different persons. And Pat Riley was one of them guys. He's more of a controlling type. He had a philosophy, what he coached, practice, and all that. What he believed in. Doug was the guy who run more of a two-man offense, and a lot of your 2-3 get touch the ball. But Pat Riley was in and out with Patrick and the wing guy. But like I said, both of them were different coaches, and both of them played in the league at different times. And I think Doug played after Pat Riley played in the league, and it was just one of them things. I was just glad to be on the team and I get a chance to play.
And you guys very successful with the Knicks. Unfortunately, I think you ran up against the Bulls a couple of times, the
Yeah,
Pacers, some incredible games with the Pacers
yeah.
and Reggie Miller. Any good stories about playing? I heard Spike Lee yelling from the bottom there row, yelling at Reggie Miller. Any good stories there?
Uh, you know, Spike was one of the guys. Hey, first guy on the court, throwing the ball, but when you playing against Reggie and the Pacers, them guys, it's similar teams. In and out, Rick Smith and Patrick was the centers, and John was the two, and Reggie was the two for the Pacers. But it was just hard fought games every time we played one another. Wasn't a lot of trash talking.
Mm.
We also trying to get to the next level, and, get to the finals and go to, So basically, we had to go through the Bulls, and we had to go through one another a lot, and that's how the East was for them, like 8 to 10 years.
Like I said, and you guys, I think, made it to the finals that one year and played Houston, correct?
Right, 9-4, when
And
seven
that
game
was
series.
Elijah Wan and the boys, correct?
Yeah, yeah, Elijah ate us up, but it's one of them things. That's why he's one of the greatest center of all time.
Absolutely, absolutely. And then a great run with the Knicks. 10 years, I believe you played with New York. Great run. What was
Change,
it like
yeah.
playing in the Big Apple? I mean, I hear a lot of athletes talking about it. And is it something a little special or different playing in New York than anywhere else?
Well, I think it's special because it's the mega basketball. You can't shortchange the fans. They understand the sports, all the sports, baseball, basketball, hockey, whatever.
Mm.
It's just the feeling you get when you walk in the garden. The fans, I mean, they're gonna let you know that when you're not playing well. But it's just a special place because all the tourists, the celebrities front row, and you never know who might come to a game, and but we still have to perform. We can't get caught up with who's sitting courtside. Our job is to go out and win the game, but it's a special place to be.
I did dig up something on you that I find pretty amazing, and I don't think any player will ever do this again. In 1994, in the playoffs in regular season, you started 107 consecutive games. That sounds amazing to me.
Well,
107.
yeah, yeah. I mean, I was built for it. But then, guys tried to play the whole season, and then the playoff come. You really don't want to miss a game in the playoff. It was just I never, I heard that before, but when you play, you just play for your team, the city, the fans. It's New York. You never want to sit out because you never know who coming to the game to watch you play. But that's why I was the type of player I wanted to play every night. I wanted to play more minutes every game I played in. But some nights you couldn't play a lot of minutes. But that was always about working hard every night.
Toughest matchup for you down low? Who was somebody or a couple of guys that maybe, you had an easy time with? And maybe some players that were tough down low based on maybe it was their length or physicality or something, quickness. Who was tough down low?
I didn't look at it as a tough matchup down low. Some guys, get calls. Some guys don't. Like Shaq. I like to set Shaq because he's a bigger guy, and I like challenging. And You get Karl Malone's the guy. He's good power
Mhm.
forward, but only thing I didn't like about him, he flopped a lot. I think the one with the most of the move was Kevin McHale. He had all the moves. He played with Boston, so you couldn't be too aggressive because they give you a cheap call. So you almost had to play, checker and chess every night with certain guys. But my really thing was just go out and just play hard every night and hope we get the W.
Now I know it's funny because I know with the Celtics and Knicks, big rivalry, obviously. And when you were with the
Yeah.
Bulls, you had to go through the Celtics when they were in their
Yeah.
heyday. Was Larry Bird that big of a trash talker? I see these programs and they're saying he was one of the biggest trash talkers in the NBA. Did you witness
Never
any of
heard
that?
Never heard Larry talk
Wow.
trash.
Okay.
Uh, Maybe when it's in the dream team, that was more of a fun type
Yeah.
atmosphere. But once you get inside them lines, I never heard him talk a lot of trash. We played him several times in the playoffs. Never seen him. I know in person. Like we never went out and have fun together, but like just
Yeah.
cordial. Over the years playing against him. I mean, I didn't see him talking trash, but a lot of people. I mean, I don't let guys talk trash to me anyway, so he might talk to someone else, but he never talked trash. I never heard him talk trash while I was on the court anyway.
Gotcha.
But I do hear a lot of people saying that all these guys said this and that. I didn't see that,
Yeah.
but each his own.
Charles, I wouldn't talk trash to you at all. I'm just telling you. And I'm sitting here miles away from you and I wouldn't talk trash, okay? So you finished up your career. I know, so you had the good run with the Knicks for 10 years. And then kind of, at the end of your career, you played with Toronto, came back to the Bulls, Wizards, and finished up, I think, a couple games with the Rockets?
Yeah, it was just like a drive-by, yeah. So it wasn't long at all, but yeah, I did go to Toronto. It was a great place. I had a great time in Toronto. It was just they was hungry for some type of good, like a team that can have a run and this and that. I think that after I left, the King Olajuwon came, and then you get Kawhi Leonard who took them to win a championship. But it's a great city. A lot the people is great. When they won that championship, that's the best thing could ever happen to it because it was a new franchise came in the '90s and they were still trying to find themselves for building a team, how to structure a team. It's a hockey town, but
Mm-hmm.
once they won that one championship, it's just like the whole world changed. But up there, the people's is great.
So you retire. What is Charles Oakley doing now? Like, what do you,
Well,
like, I know you had something to do with the 3-on-3 basketball. You still
yeah.
coaching?
Well, yeah, I'm coaching, but I coached a couple years in the league with the Charlotte Hornets down there with Mike when he owned the team.
Okay.
Working on my foundation, the Oakley
Yeah,
Foundation.
can you
Um,
elaborate a little bit on the Oakley Foundation, kind of what it is, and kind of tell everyone out there kind of what it's about?
well, my foundation is totally different than most people you'll run across because we try to cover all kind of corners and angles to help people to go back to shelters in the city. We go to school, we talk to kids. But I do my Oakley experiment, so it's a whole bunch of different things. I like it like this because I don't want to just be a one cut myself off with one. I know other people need help in the other different areas, so I
Hmm.
try to provide for whoever we can help at the time. But no, it's just something I started 3 years ago in Cleveland. I seen that it was a need for myself was always giving back, but I just need giving back in a way that people can see I'm doing it as a foundation. But we still looking for donors and whatever want to donate to the foundation. But once you come and see us live and what we do when we do appearances and stuff, it's special because I think that it's always some people need some help out here in the world.
That's very admirable. And yeah, I was going to say, if you ever want us to throw up a link or anything like that, or any information on the foundation, we'd be glad to do it in every show. Any way we can help you out and
Thank
your
you.
foundation out.
Appreciate it.
Now, before we let you go, real quick, two things: the NBA when you played versus the NBA today. Uh, Different styles, different players. We touched on it briefly before we came on. What do you think of the biggest differences between when you played now and the players now and today?
I think the biggest difference right now, and we played, I don't think management hold guys accountable. They got these new rules. Um, it's just the way it just run totally different. It's a global market now, and I think they clean up a lot of the physicality. I think that it's so laid back, and I think a lot of guys really don't they don't go all out at all times, and and you can watch the game and see that it's so just it's sometimes it might be too laid back. But it's harder for me to watch this era, and I hear a lot of fans always talk about like what's there so many threes? Why guys can't make free throws? Why we see the same 1 or 2 plays in every game? High pick and roll, side pick and roll. Why is no defensive concepts no more? Only 3 or 4 teams teach that, and then the same teams that you see winning every year. But you know, the money is good. I guess the water's good.
The money's good. Those super max deals are incredible.
Yeah, but it's another thing. Like when we played, they hid the money. Now they can't hide the money. So now you got to pay less for your. You got to pay more and get less. And I think that that's a big part of the game too, because every time I watch a TV show or they begging guys why this guy don't show up every game, why this guy don't show up every game, but these guys making $50-60 million. So why they're not showing up? Ask the man who pay him. Because it's kind of embarrassing because they almost had to beg these guys. I hear this guy should be doing this every game. This guy shouldn't be, so it's a conversation about all the players now. But you got some guys show up every night and do their best, but that's how they say it. You build a house how you like it, and that's how the league built into, it's a global market league. So physicality went out the window because the European players, they're not physical as the guys used to play. Now everybody's into that slim look type body, body fat, probably around a 7'8". So basically your base is gonna be small. So there's not a lot of big bodies in the league no more.
Well, I wanted to ask you about the one thing that's very, very, I guess it's a big topic in the NBA today, and that's the load management issue, where, these guys, you're right, these players are getting paid millions and millions of dollars, these super max deals, right? And they're like, well, I don't want to play every fifth day, or I don't want to play every fourth day. But yet the fans are showing up, a lot of the fans are going to see us, Steph Curry or LeBron James or somebody, and they spend harder money to go to the games and they don't get to see them play. What's your take on something like that?
Well, that's how they built it. I think it's a players' league. The commission allowed a lot of things to happen. He put rules in. He take rules out. But I think when you're someone who's been saving your money for 6 months or 7 months to see a special team, and like I said, that guy don't play or whatever. But they allow that in the league now. They're trying to change it, but it's gonna be hard to change because you don't know if a guy hurt or not. So almost you let some stuff come in that you can't change, and it's a players' league. So I just wish the players, if you're healthy, play. If you're not, I understand because 82 games. We played 82 games. 80 something plus.
You play 107.
Yeah, the playoff. But I think that I mean, I don't know. My thing is watching the game now. If you got somebody you like now, you go see them now because what's coming in the next 5 years, once LeBron leaves, KD leave, Curry leave, the league. I mean, it's going to be global, but I'm saying it's going to jump from 30 some probably 50% in the next 5 years because with the magnitude what LeBron then brings, you're not going to see that too much more. I don't see that coming. It's coming global, but not from the guys from the U.S. So basically, you're going to have a global market team playing in the U.S. and then you see the guys like I said, Curry, LeBron, KD, all them guys, 80. Once they leave, I don't see nobody coming up like them, can hold a torch like them. So I don't know who's gonna be the next best guy after probably, like I said, Joker for Embiid.
And that kid from San Antonio, Wembanyama?
I don't know. I saw him play, but haven't played more than 25 minutes. So I guess they bringing him along real slow. That's a good thing to do. Don't throw him out there with them alligators and crocodiles. Just walk around the park to see how he gonna fit in. He got time. He's the first pick in the draft, so he gonna get a next contract. So being 7'4", as long as he don't get hurt.
Last question for you, and again, I really do appreciate you coming on to Last Minute for this.
No problem.
But who's your pick in the finals, and who do you like to win it all this year?
My 2 West Coast teams gonna be probably be Denver or the Lakers. In the
Really?
East, in the East, probably gonna be it's gonna be Milwaukee or Boston.
Milwaukee or Boston. Who takes it? I'm putting you on the spot, Charles. Who takes it?
Who take it? Maybe Denver or Boston.
Denver. Well, I'm a Celtic guy from Boston, so I like that pick a lot. I like Denver. I like the Celtics.
You don't like to see the same team win every.
I agree with you.
I want to see something different, but I think that Boston made some some great trades. Just
Drew
they
Holiday,
had
great trade, right?
no, it wasn't great, but I think that the pieces they got. Well, Drew was a great trade for Smart because he understands the game, but
Mhm.
Drew ain't gonna just come out. I think Smart got a little loose goose to it when he played with Boston because he went from more of a defensive player to a more offensive player.
Yeah,
And you got the two Browns there, Taylor and Brown. You know, you got the scores, but sometimes when you're supposed to be a role player, you're supposed to play your role to a high IQ. I think that sometimes the glamour gets to some of these guys. That's why some teams don't go to the next step. But I think Boston, if they don't win it this year, they're not gonna win the next 5 years because they've been knocking on the door for the last four or
I
five
agree.
years. You only get 3 years from winning most of the time, but they made a great trade to add more pieces. Like I said, not Drew Holiday is a leader; he understands. So
Hmm.
that was a big pickup for Boston.
And the window is closing. I agree with you. I mean,
And
they got
when
to
it's
do it this
closing,
year because the
it's
window's
just
closing.
like you get to 2 or 3 years with Boston. Like I said, they made moves the last couple of years. They always gonna figure out a way to make a move to get to the next level. But I'm saying is, you got to sign Taylor. You signed Brown last year, so Taylor is up next year. And I think my key was I love Williams. I think Williams was the key. If they would have played Williams last year more, they would have been in the finals. I don't know. They wanted to
Wow.
spread
Okay.
the floor with Al Horford, but it didn't work out. But Williams is a problem. He can block shot. He's active. He can get rebounds. He can play without the ball. But it's careful when you want space on the floor. Sometimes they can hurt you.
I like Williams. It was an athletic, I mean, very athletic player. And
Yeah,
I
I
think
mean,
they do miss him.
sometimes you forget about the man who do the dirty work. But I think nobody I see in this league today play the way he played.
I agree. He's quick jumper. It's 6'9". He plays like he's a 7-footer, doesn't he?
Like Ben Wallace and all them guys here, undersized,
That's
but
right.
they can get up in it quickly.
That's right. Ben Wallace. God, you're bringing back some memories of mine. With Big Ben there with the
Virginia
afro there.
Union, we want Virginia Union guys. So
Yeah, that's right. You guys got to stick together, right?
we had to fight down there to get what we got.
Well, again, I really appreciate you taking time out of your schedule and hooking up with us and doing this. We'd love to do this again. I'm a big fan, big admirer of your game, and I
Thank
love
you.
what you're doing with the foundation. That's outstanding.
Yeah. Please do it. Like I said, next time we talk, a lot of the stuff got coming out. So they want me to be, because, I came out with a book last year called The Last Enforcer. So,
Okay.
uh,
Can we
yeah,
talk
they're going
about
to
that next time?
yeah, we can talk about the book. And I'm having about 2 or 3 other things to talk about too. So we got some content. So let's do it.
All right, Charles. Listen, have a great week. I really appreciate it, and we'll see you soon.
All right. Thank you.